Hi everybody, my name is Irene Rubio and I want to talk to you about my dad, Isabel Samarripa. He's the person that has had the most impact in my life. My dad passed away about 17 years ago, and even though he's not physically here, I still feel like he's very present in my life. I hear his lessons, I hear his voice. He continues to guide me. When I'm going through difficult times, I think about what he would say to me. I think of him when we're having fun and we're making memories, and we think about things that he would have liked or how he would have been with us. And so I still feel he's very present in my life. My dad raised 10 kids. I was the youngest, and I was named after his mom. So for whatever reason, I feel like I had a very special connection with my dad. And even though they say that you don't have a favorite child, I know I was his favorite. We were just very close. And I miss him every day. Um, but, some of the things that he taught me was to be compassionate towards others. My dad had a very difficult childhood in that he lost his mom when he was 4 years old. And he always longed for his mom. He always missed his mom. He talked about her a lot. And so I think not having her in his life definitely made him a better parent. And that sounds crazy, but his upbringing was tough without his mom. Even though his dad was still alive, his dad had to work, 2, 3 jobs to support him. So he wasn't there a lot of times, so they pretty much had to fend for themselves. Um, his mom died very early, and so, he didn't necessarily get tucked into bed, and his dad was out working late, so they had to feed themselves, bathe themselves, take care of themselves. And at 4 years old, even though he had older sisters, they were all young. So, they didn't take baths all the time. They didn't eat well all the time. They were dirty. And so he taught me to be compassionate towards others, because he said that growing up, people were mean to him because, you know, they were they were treated like they weren't important, because they didn't have anybody to care for them. And so he always taught me, don't ever shrug your nose at anybody, because you don't know their story. You don't know what's going on in their life. My dad only went up to school until about 3rd grade, and then he dropped out, and he just, didn't really enjoy it. And so he started working early. He had to make money for them. So my father grew up with this incredible work ethic that he passed on to all 10 of his children. Um, it's amazing how you see your parents grow up, and you just, see how important they are with their lives, and they're responsible, with themselves, their family, their job, and just, you don't know any other way, because that's what you were taught. So I'm very lucky for that. But he also taught me to be very ethical, and he taught me that family is very important. He taught us that, um, you can be the richest in the world money-wise, but if you don't have your family, you don't have your dignity, you don't have your integrity intact, it means nothing. And I am so grateful that he taught me that lesson, because Definitely, we all want to do well and we want to have nice things, but that's not where we hang our hat, because at the end of the day, if we don't have the love and support of our family, it's for nothing. He also taught me um, a lot about my faith, and that man had a lot of faith. He wasn't a saint by any means, but he definitely knew there was someone greater than he, and he knew he was accountable for himself up until the very end. And so I miss him. I love him. I absolutely am grateful for the lessons that he taught me, um, because I think that no matter what goes on in my life, and no matter how successful we think we are, or we can become, I know that at the end of the day, I need to have a balance in my life that includes my faith and my family. And so I'm going to be okay. And that's a lesson that I'm passing on to my own children. And I hope someday they think back about what we've taught them, even though we don't like it sometimes. We don't like when people put our ethics in, but um, I think that I was very fortunate to have been brought up in a very humble home where we had a lot of love and support. And my dad was just an awesome man, and I love him. I miss him, and I've heard some of the stories of some of the other classmates, and I know that they've had things very similar. But it's just interesting how one person can make such an impact in your life, even when they're long gone. So thank you very much for listening to my story, and you guys have a good night.